All right, then here we go. It's tunnel meeting number 137. It's March 11th, 2025. And today we're being joined by Esther, Kevin, Lilu, Vanny, Alfred, Ashley, Boas, Max, and Guillermo. Thanks a lot for tuning in. As you can see on the screen, an overview of the agenda. We start off with a couple of mentions, and then after that we move to the community proposals that were put forward to the R&D Guild. And after that, we'll have a little brainstorm on how to deal with the low budget, in effect, the low token price, seeing our budget is established in tokens. And yeah, I figured it would be good to have a little brainstorm on that. Yeah, if there's any time remaining after that, well, there's space for open topics. So feel free to put something in chat if you feel like, well, please at the end do touch on whatever it may be. Then before getting started, a quick reminder on what the ambassador program even is and what we're doing. Basically, we're a group of like-minded people that all care about the mission and vision of SingularityNET and its ecosystem, and that want to help contribute to it. And there's a wide range of self-organizing work groups that basically, if you're looking to help out, there is a work group that fits your interests. So do up onto our Discord server. You'll find a how to join section. It will explain you how to join. Hope to see you there. Then kicking off with the mentions. Basically, a whole bunch of events are popping up, three of which will be tomorrow, actually, on Wednesday. Starting off at 12 UTC, it's time for the NoNet All Hands on X. And then at 14 UTC, it's time for the deep funding open all hands. And that's on Zoom. You can check for the link on the socials. And then after that, we have the very first community session on decentralized governance, led by Esther, who's in the room here. So if you want, yeah, please give a little bit of context.
Yeah, sure. Thank you, Peter. Yeah, so tomorrow we're kicking off a series of decentralized governance community sessions. That's for anybody who would like to join us from the whole SingularityNet ecosystem. I mean, beyond as well, if anybody from the ASI Alliance is interested. But I imagine that it will mostly be SingularityNet folks there. Is a completely open session. We'll be looking at a little bit at the past of decentralized governance, but I'm very interested to establish needs in the ecosystem and begin to prioritize governance experiments. So I was very glad to be here last week, and I'm so grateful for your input and really happy to take those conversations forwards, but also look towards how we can take a broad view also of the ecosystem. And I think that your insights would be really valuable there, because I think that much of the things that the ambassadors have learned can be abstracted out to the rest of the ecosystem. So yeah, it would be incredibly valuable to have you all there, and I really hope that some of you will come. We'll be thinking about a few practical next steps as well, although I would expect that this is a lot of context setting tomorrow as well, just to kind of re-establish dialogue on decentralized governance and start thinking about how we're going to move forward. I expect that we'll be running them about bi-weekly for some time so that we can establish some momentum. And I think that's it for now. It's on the main SingularityNet calendar, so it will be listed as Decentralized Governance Community Session number 1. Thanks very much, Peter.
Thank you, Esther. I did take the liberty of also adding it to the ambassador calendar, just because I kind of feel more people have that.
Yeah, that's absolutely fine. I realize that this time it clashes with the R&D group, but we're going to try and avoid that clash next time. So it's not going to be fixed at that time, in case people from the R&D guild would also like to join.
Yeah, cool. Well, for sure they can join the first half an hour. Awesome. Yeah, then next, there's 2 sessions coming from the AI ethics work group. And I'm happy to talk about them, but at the same time, perhaps Vanessa, since you requested them to be put on, I can put you on the spot and you could share a little about them.
Yeah, sure. The first one is Wednesday. Um, sorry, the first one is Monday, the 17th, at 1300. And it's a training session on transcription, which is a useful skill in a lot of contexts. We'll be looking at a particular style of transcription called intelligent verbatim. And this is mainly for people who've done interviewing with AI Ethics Work Group, so that they can transcribe the interviews that they did. Because obviously, if you were the person that did the interviewing, it's kind of easier. But yeah, not all interviewers are going to necessarily want to transcribe their own interviews. So there might be some tasks for people to pick up. In transcribing other people's interviews. So yeah, you don't have to have done any interviewing for the work group in order to come and learn and then maybe pick up some tasks. And then the second session is on the Wednesday, the 19th, at the same time, 1300 UTC. And it's just a kind of plenary session for those who've done interviewing with the work group, just talking about what we've learnt, what we might derive as best practice from the things that we've learnt. And whilst it's mainly aimed at people who have done interviewing, it's open to anybody. And I think if you're just interested in maybe doing some interviewing one day, you'll find it interesting. And also, if you interview in any other context, in any research context, it's going to be useful skills, I think. So yeah, I hope to see everybody there.
Awesome. Thanks a lot for sharing and for hosting these spaces in the first place. Um, yeah, then on to the last one for now. Being just a quick reminder, the Q2 budgets are in. I'm sure most of you in the room are aware, seeing you worked on the budgets, and the deadline was, what is it, 20 hours ago? Yeah, so that brings us to the place where we get to consent or object to the budget. And I figured I would just throw in a quick reminder about that. The final deadline for that is next week, Monday, at the very last minute of UTC daytime. Yeah, yeah, that would be it, pretty much. Do fill in the consent forms, please. All right, a quick check on the room. Any questions on, well, any of these mentions before moving on to the next agenda item? All right, if questions pop up, you can always drop them in chat later. Then moving on to the community proposals put forward to the R&D Guild. Let me go ahead and share the presentation. Thanks, Vanessa, for sharing the consent form in chat as well. Good stuff. All right, that should be screen sharing, and then it's not up to me to present this, but Guillermo, the floor is yours.
Hi, everyone. Thank you, Pete, for doing this part of it. Here, still with no connection, I'm using my mobile. So just jump to the next one. So yesterday yesterday, sorry for that, like all budgets and Q1 reports, we have a deadline for the Q2 new proposal submission. We did lack this time in participation. Previous iteration, there were 4 proposals. This time, only 2. Probably we can extend a little bit. Maybe we can discuss that tomorrow. But Peter, if you want to go to the next slide. So only 2 proposals. The first one, something I propose, and then Tigo and Matt Cowper. they team up with a specific process guild or work group application or need that they identify that will help them to organize their workflow, I guess. There's a proposal for scheduling event and notification system. I don't know if Tibu is in the room. Probably some of the guys is here. I want to join a little bit about the idea.
Right now?
I'm sorry to put you on the spotlight. I don't know if they're in the room. If not, I can go first with the other proposal. And Esther, yeah, nice to have you here. Lilu also, as this is probably an appendix from the police proposal that we push on the deep funding on AI collaboration and everything we're doing here and working for. So that's basically, and as I mentioned, Peter, this is probably have been in a lot of discussions through the work groups and guilds and between members. Why don't we start using it or trying it, how we will apply it in governance on decision making. That was the whole presentation of the concept behind the proposal we push in the Nexus. And yeah, this will be also pushing for collaboration between ASI Alliance members. We have this Fetch hackathon experience last year with Copa America, and we understood a little bit how the agentverse from Fetch works.
Please raise up your voice so that we can hear. We are not hearing from here. I don't know if you understand here. We are not understand here.
Can you hear me, Pete?
Audio seems fine, at least. Maybe others in the room can chime in.
Okay. Can hear fine. Okay, thank you. Okay, so Fetch AI, Agentverse, and how we will create an AI agent, AI core contributor. Then we can make a name kind of game also, like we love. And after we name her or him or it, we will kind of try to experiment with it in all of this. That also Esther here, that is she's an expert about governance, and as she mentioned, we have a quite experience trying it between the program. Well, I think it will be fun to try. This is also something that drop up from again discussions with Lilu and all these ideas that we always brainstorm here. Yeah, that will be the basic concept. And Peter, if you push on the next slide, we'll have dates, I think. I don't remember this one. Okay, so we're going to start a review process. Probably we can extend and keep the submission open. I don't know, we need to also work in collaboration with marketing. Then community voting, and then results on first town hall from April. Again, we challenged ourselves to have more than the previous iteration. It was the opposite. One thing good that with as Peter mentioned, budget, reallocation, resources, and all that, it will be good to have two proposals that will run through the door and start and have the resources to develop, and we don't have to prioritize or put an order on. And then more updates on the upcoming artifacts. 2 more minutes, Pete, but SDB is almost there, is up. The guys have been doing an amazing job, Emmanuel and AJ. Still working on the profile. Layout, and it's going to be coming out soon. Hopefully, well, we did step back in the development to have it open source and to be adaptable for deep funding and different parts of the organization. So it's almost there to deploy. So we will soft launch and share with you guys shortly. That's it on my end. Probably good to mention that on Friday we're going to be in Buenos Aires representing the program, the core contributors, the ambassadors family globally, the ASI Alliance and SingularityNET Vision and Mission in an event. It's called Aleph. We share this in the previous monthly report. So we're going to get there. We're going to push to get on stage with a workshop deck. Probably it's going to be fast, 20 minutes, but we're going to be effective and present the last of ASI Alliance and SingularityNET with a mini one out and all the deployments as ASI create stack, the workflow on all of that. I hope we can create some good content, and we will share updates in the shortcut. And that's it.
There we go. Couldn't find the button. Thanks a lot for sharing. Yeah, it's cool to see. I would be curious to see if more people join in if you extend the submission period. It does make me wonder if there's only two, will there then be a vote?
Yeah, agree. Yeah, agree. So we will discuss that tomorrow, and also to catch up with Esther's the time slot. Probably we can push it for 1 hour late on the calendar, and we can be part of tomorrow meeting, and we don't overlap. And yeah, probably if we decide that, we will communicate it and extend 1 more week. Let's see what we can figure out.
Yeah, fair. Cool. Then let me hop back to the slides. Any questions in the room, by the way? Feel free to unmute and ask.
Is there a link to the slideshow? I wasn't able to catch all the text. I was on a different screen.
I put it in chat.
Oh, great, thank you.
If it's fine to share, actually, but I did it already. I think it's fine. Cool. Then moving on. That's a bit overkill to actually click the slide for this, because basically I figured what would be nice to do during Town Hall today. Now, yeah, let's have a bit of a brainstorm on how we as a program can deal with the low budget, basically the low token price. We established for Q2 budgets baseline of 30 cents per token. When we established this, the price was actually at 35 cents. And I haven't checked for a little bit, but I think we're in the low 20s right now. So yeah, practically speaking, this means that we'll have an issue during Q2 if token price remains as is. And yeah, also for upcoming quarters, I figured it would be good to have yeah, a little bit of ideation on how we as a program can deal with this. Because it's it will have a lot of impact if the token price doesn't magically bump up. The world economy is not in the greatest position either, so it's not just a crypto event. So yeah, let me go ahead and share this link in chat. You'll notice very quickly that I'm not Tavo and not as apt with Myro as he is. I figured a good first step would be to spend 5 or 10 minutes just collecting a whole bunch of ideas. It's you don't have to put your name to your idea, and there's no bad ideas, basically. I figured it would be good to simply collect, like anything you think like, well, this would be a way of dealing with lower budgets. Let me see, there's 4 people now. Nice. If you have some ideas on this, but for some reason, if you're unable to join the Myra board, if you have a suggestion for well, an idea on how to deal with the low budget, you can also put it in chat, and then I'll put it into the Miro board. And it's also completely fine. I feel like it doesn't have to be on the Miro board. I put like, well, let's brainstorm for about 5 to 10 minutes on a bunch of ideas, and then later we can rank them from best to worst, and then have a bit of discussion around it. At the same time, I don't intend this to be like 5 to 10 minutes of pure silent brainstorming.
It's all right, Peter. We can put La Bamba on in the background while people do it.
Perfect. Yeah, that helps a lot. No, but if you see something, feel free to discuss, I reckon. I mean, so yeah, I would say yeah, time to get a bunch of ideas into the Miro board. And just a reminder, there is no bad ideas. If you feel like stop paying people for efforts altogether, that's an idea. It won't see a lot of approval, probably, but it counts, right? If anything, it would allow us to compare it with other ideas which may have a little bit more support.
So is it just putting them on those white post-its or what?
Yeah, that works for me. That was how I intended it. Yeah.
Okay. Sorry, I'm not very experienced with Miro, so I'll ask a few silly questions from time to time.
Yeah, Kevin, paying the entire budget to you is an idea, but then it's then we get to the support part at some point, right? There might be people in favor. I know one would be in favor. You might be able to get two more people to join in on it. I know you're not too serious. If I was Tefo, I would now click on a timer where the board has a timer going down. I'll just look at the Zoom call. It's currently at 30 minutes 45 seconds for this call. So at 35, more or less we'll stop the brainstorming. Max, feel free to unmute and ask if you have a question. I just saw your hand, which also is gone now.
Good evening, everyone.
Thank you.
I don't know if it will cut down, let me say, price per task, and I still want to bring an idea here. I don't know if we'll calculate, we check the current price rate and then the 30% from the reserve. Will it take us somewhere?
Sorry, I'm not sure if I get the question.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, if you want, as Fanny puts in chat, you can also put it in the Miro if you want.
Okay. I'll put it in the mirror then.
In the chat.
All right.
I can paste the link to the Miro button every time. But if you, for some reason, if the Miro button doesn't work for you, it's also fine to put suggestions into chat.
Hi.
Hey, Jeffrey.
Hello.
Hello.
Hi.
Hello.
Yeah. It's Jeffrey.
Yep.
So I know I'm a new person here, which is
Hmm.
I'm just joining this today. But it's we understand and understand about this community. The Afrante is all about starting with what you have. Whenever you start with what you have and end with what you have. You have to have a little when you are starting something, you have to need a little bit understanding on what you are starting. Because in the terms of a market index, it's always up and down. So you have to work deeper. You have to understand where we are going. When you understand where you are going, will give you what you want. So thank you. That's what I can say.
Fair. Um, yeah, in context of the budget brainstorm, I could possibly translate that as keep focused on the mission, if that somehow translates.
You probably don't feel it. Understood. So you probably don't feel
Gonna go ahead and mute you for a second there, AJ. Welcome to chime in, of course, but this seemed a private conversation. Well, that's filling up nicely. There's 15 suggestions right now. Still see people typing. I did say 5 to 10 minutes. 5 minutes have passed now, but kind of feels weird cutting off if people are still putting ideas, of course. Yeah, Kevin, I'm reading your message in chat on Singularity Finance and a pension product. Um, I'm not directly seeing the link, to be completely honest.
That was just me wondering something to myself. I had tried reaching out to them to get something going. My point was that they're in the middle of testnet and they can't really do anything now. But when they launch, I think there could be a way we could promote their services as well as try and increase some of our own treasury if we put some of it up on there. So from what I hear, they're going to be able. You're going to be able to use AI agents to help with some financial understanding and having it invest for you, putting some AI to work to help increase your own portfolio. If we could increase our own portfolio and then advertise it and market it, it could help kill a couple birds with one stone.
Yeah, fair. Gonna translate it into investor reserves into Dynavolt. That's their their product.
Yeah, that was what Singularity DAO developed those, right?
Yep. but they've now merged together with Cogito Protocol into Singularity Finance.
Right.
We're almost running out of empty ones, but good stuff.
Hey, who put get Kevin to pay the ambassador program budget? I see you.
It's an idea.
I thought we said there were no bad ideas. I immediately say there are.
All right. Please feel free to keep adding more suggestions if you have them or more ideas. I just want to slowly start moving to the next phase. And initially, I had the idea that it would kind of work to. Let me go ahead and screen share the Miro actually, so that those who are not on the board can also see it. Could have done that 10 minutes ago. Apologies. Yeah, so basically my idea was, okay, let's get a bunch of ideas in and then rank them. And I figured it would be a nice way of going about it by having everybody rank everything. Now I'm looking at this and it's like, okay, but then we get 10 different rankings of, well, what is it? 30 different suggestions. That's probably not the best. It does make me wonder a little bit on how to proceed with this.
I mean,
Alternative,
could we read out the suggestions for those who are having trouble getting on the Miro board? They might not be able to see it on their phone screen either.
yeah, very fine. We definitely can. It does make me wonder a little bit on the planning side of things. There's 18 minutes remaining on the slot. Reading everything out will take about 8 minutes, I reckon. And if we then discuss it, the slot is gone. So that kind of makes me wonder, well, if going over them and having a little bit of discussion here and there, if that would for now be what we can do during the session, rather than, yeah, like I said, my initial idea was to fully rank it.
The some of the topics are quite similar, so it could be an idea to group the ones that are similar and then just like have that overarching topic as one topic and then kind of like move through them like that.
Yeah, sure. All right. I'll get started on covering or reading them out. First one would be supporting work groups to sell as a service the tools, etc. they have created through the ambassador program. And then they pay a little bit back to the program. Yeah, it's a great idea. So just for completeness sake, this makes me think stuff like treasury, archives, skills database. That's kind of what is this aims at, right? I assume it does. I guess in general, while reading this out and kind of covering them, if you have any comments or questions, feel free to simply yeah, unmute and speak up. Then it becomes more of a conversation, right? That being said, I don't want to spend 5 minutes on everything because we'll be here for the rest of the evening. So yeah. Next one is find a way or a strategy to get some workgroup support fund from deep funding. And as a second, cut rewards by a percentage, since members can relate to the current price of AGIX. So that's pretty much keeping the current rewards in tokens in place, and yeah, just ignore the dollar price of the tokens. I think I'm if I'm reading that correctly. When the budget is received, put it in a stablecoin. Yeah, over the past months, that would have been a golden move. Hopefully, over the coming months, it's gonna prove to be a bad move. Oh yeah, that completely overlaps with yeah, it's the same idea as convert the budget into USDT as soon as the budget is finalized. Thanks for combining those. I think I saw Lilu on the cursor. Another idea is to simply stop having meetings, just work asynchronously for this quarter. It would cut costs a lot. I put one that's relatively similar. Here saying reduce overhead. So meetings, documentation, and task management. It's kind of in the same vein. Albeit that for async work, you still need task management, of course. Alternative to this, I'm just thinking out loud here. So if you also want to join in the thinking out loud, feel free to unmute and just do so. Alternatively, this could read stop allocating funds to meetings. And there technically could still be meetings. I somehow imagine they would be a bit shorter, which might be a good thing. Then combine overlapping by theme work groups. That's a bit a tricky one without concrete examples. I put this here myself so I can be harsh on it. Basically, like I feel there's enough overlaps in some work groups where they, for example, could have shared meetings. Automate where possible. Example, translation. Machine translation is improving, and we are putting, it's a small amount, but we are putting some budget to human translation. Yeah, maybe there's ways where we could automate more. More volunteering. It's a personal pet peeve. Happy to say, see somebody also put an sticky on with less important / less urgent tasks can be put into a volunteer board. I see I'm way out of sync with the chat. Just a second. I think it's time to do some charity work for USNet. Perfectly in line with the current two stickies. I'm wondering if there are non-monetary benefits. I'm wondering if there are any non-monetary benefits the foundation could offer ambassadors to help make up for any budget shortfall. I would imagine access could be something. For example, being on the MetaMask server is something we do on a right now, at least on an invite basis. Technically, yeah, it's not like there's a lot of secret stuff going on there, but it's in a way to prevent that, you know, there's 10,000 people discussing their everything on there. So access is the first thing that comes to mind there, Kevin. Funny saying part 2 next week. That might make sense, yes. People could look at it and do the rankings asynchronously. Yeah, would be cool. An alternative to fully ranking out would be like pick the best 5 and the worst 5 or something, or maybe just focus on the best X. Doesn't have to be exactly 5. If someone performs a song about Kevin and just keep going, I would accept all budgetary slashing. We could do that. I think my favorite suggestion is get more funding. I thought of that all by myself. Yeah, I'm proud of it. Thanks for the support. Sorry, stop having meetings is not the best idea. No, fair. Stop having meetings is the best idea. That's kind of the opposite of each other. Well, meetings, yeah, as Max also replies on chat, Max, meetings do at least have they do have a function for sure. At the same time, yeah, that's for sure an idea that would cut some of the budget spending. Guillermo, you have your hand up.
Yeah, so I did have some issues. I did want to spend 5 minutes just to put an emoji on the get more funding comment, my favorite too. But yeah, Miro is not running on my system. Yeah. So yeah, this is all great ideas. I think I wanna make a comment, just what we discussed today. In governance, so use this as an opportunity. One way or the other, we have avoided these previous market contractions. It's always a good opportunity to restructurize or rethink what we're doing, analyze results, and all that stuff. So not cutting, but getting more efficient probably is an approach that all these comments can, we organize the ideas, we can, yeah, get more done with less. But yeah, that kind of rethink in towards efficiency. What we can do over there, cutting and not having meetings, yeah, I agree, it's not the best idea. We talked this also today. Yeah, we always can team up for the first comment. We always can team up and offer our services as a great team to different organizations. We all can do that. We're free. Of course, we already do it. But probably is that to team up and organize and offer this efficiency or this kind of workflow and this process thinking. But also focusing on being more effective. Probably it's. I just want to add that to discussion.
Yeah, fair. I'm not sure if that now gets caught in one of the stickies.
Yeah, you can. So a concept of abundancy is to overflow a media with content. Okay. A different approach is focus on one important message, 2 pieces, and you use the resources to push the media out, to outreach with the media content piece, not just to put them. So that's a different approach of being more effective with less. Of course, there will be less hours and contribution for members or individuals, but I don't know.
Yeah, fair. All right, looking at the clock, I will keep going over a couple more, just because I do really appreciate it's close to 30 now. It's over 30, 35-ish ideas. I do want to call most of them out. So there's 2 that are somewhat similar. First one, finding out if some people would be willing to wait for payment and pay those who really need it right away. If token price goes down, this could... Yeah, but there's token price dynamics that it makes me think of. Distinguish between tasks that are urgent and intensive versus tasks that can be paid in the future. Yeah, fair. Not sure what main missions are, but paying for tasks directly working towards the mission or current goal until the coin is more stable. And that overlaps Yeah, quite a bit with focus the outputs more, figure out which work groups are mission critical. That's going to be a fun discussion because I imagine most work groups feel they are quite mission critical. But yeah. Socialism better abolish monetary systems. I can see the case for that. Yeah, that's just it's so hard once you start having a system where you reward people monetarily. Going back from that, I'm not sure if that's even possible in a way, without a big shock at least. In itself, I do kind of agree that if we didn't have any money in the system, everybody that would be here, yeah, would not be there for the money at least. So that in itself is very strong. And then Vanessa chiming in, I think it'd be a mistake to be looking at which work groups are mission critical. It's about which tasks are, surely. In itself, yeah, I don't know. Without spending the remainder of the slot on it, I'm not sure if all work groups are mission critical. I
Yeah,
feel
I mean, I think a big issue there is potentially that the rest, like, it's not really potentially that fair for the rest of the ambassadors to turn on a work group and say, now we're not funding you anymore.
no, very true. That's a terrible discussion to have. I fully agree with that. Yeah. No, in that sense, I think the other sticky on the same topic is formulated a little bit more friendly, let's say. Offer other things than money to people doing tasks in ambassador program, like training or mentorship. Yeah, I think that's a great one. It kind of connects with where is it? Oh, I think what was touched on in chat by Kevin. Then put a per person cap on the amount of rewards each person can earn by doing contributions. Fair. Lower the rewards per hour or per task. Not sure if that's exactly the very connected, to be honest, but yeah. It would help. Giving less rewards allows for doing more. But also the people receiving the rewards will be less happy. So yeah, there's that. Do some research on other sources of funding and support work groups to fund some of their work in other ways. Yeah, quite a good one, I feel. It does overlap with this one, I think. Support work groups where appropriate to take some of their ideas to deep funding, either in round 5 or in RFPs. And well, these two for sure fully overlap, ambassador program, RFP, and deep funding. It might be an angle, yeah. Then looking into putting AI at work for a portion of our funds could be nice. A financial agent could help increase our budget if done correctly. That doesn't help us for this next quarter, though. Yeah. It kind of overlaps with the one we had at the beginning, I feel. Oh, that was the suggestion in chat with the dynafolds. Where is it? Where is it? Okay, I'm losing the place I wanted to put it. Oh, I had it selected actually. Cool. Yeah, sure. That's there. Okay. Then thanks a lot, Vanessa. Was the Zoom overlay is blocking my view. Then having the difficult discussion on what work is being done that is good and only fund that. kind of the same as the mission critical stuff, but more on a task level than the work group level, I feel. And yeah,
Not entirely. I put that one, and I was just thinking more about it's not about. I mean, obviously, it matters whether it's mission related, but I'd rather see good work that was tangential than shit work that matches our mission. So I'm putting it next to focus on quality over quantity.
okay, I see. Yeah, cool. Yeah, that's connected to it. Then pay Kevin the entire ambassadorial budget, but without getting do it in rotation, one person each month/week, and see what they do. Oh, it would be an interesting experiment for sure. There's one on a lesser serious note. Get Kevin to pay more to the ambassador budget.
I have an investor meeting this week. I'll see what I can drum up.
Nice. Reach out more to spin-offs and perhaps deep funding operations. It kind of, yeah, it's not the same as straight up getting funding, of course, from deep funding, but it kind of connects to that. Does make me wonder something like I'm always very pleasantly surprised by the speed of turnover of the meeting recordings of the town halls of deep funding. I really don't mean this in a way to talk down on the video work group. But just seeing the amount of time spent between the meeting being finished and it being live, there cannot be more than 1 hour of work on it because it's all live. It's already live by then. So yeah, maybe there's some lessons to learn, some best practices perhaps that could be exchanged. But this might also be more in the, I'm not sure what this intends to. Like, is it to reach out more to spin-offs and deep funding operations for getting stuff done by them, or for broadening the output which we can do, or maybe work for a spin-off, or work for a deep funding? Or I'm not sure what the gist of this is. Prioritize funding for projects that are more involved in physical events participation. I'm not sure how that lowers budget needs, but there might be ways why that works. I assume this is mostly focused on the output it brings. Take half of the budget for the quarter and speculate with it. Money from the sky. Yeah, or we lose the other half as well. I'm personally inclined to not gamble too much with the budget we have. Let's put it like that. But yeah. Let's see. Limit frequent meetings that demand facilitation and documentation. As usual, what's going on with some work groups to twice a month or once a month. Yeah, sure. Compared to weekly meetings, it would cut the costs in half or even in fourth. And it does indeed overlap with yeah, that one. You just put it. Thanks a lot, Vanessa. Do some research on other sources of funding and support work groups to fund some of their work in other ways. Am I repeating myself now? I think we covered this one. I'm not super sure. That's kind of fits in with that group, maybe. But yeah, the idea there is clear. Investing in tools to help support the work, so it's not as time intensive. Yeah, fair. Feels like it overlaps a little bit with the try automating where possible. Not maybe not really. I'm not sure if I agree on this grouping. This does call out investing, but I think it's in tools, not so much as in like financial instruments to get more money, which would be accurate for the top two. I'm not sure how to ungroup, but that's fine. Then I think we've covered them. We also covered the time slot, so there's that. Yeah, any thoughts in the room? Does this feel like something useful to even work on? Is it a waste of time? Is it a waste of funds? Is it something we can build on? Yeah, any thoughts in the room?
One thing I just wrote it in chat, and I'm wondering, and this is piggybacking off the Mindplex meeting. Is there any way to combine marketing, Writers Guild, and video work group into one like Mindplex based promotional outlet where we push all the content through Mindplex to try and other mediums to try and get traffic back to Mindplex, but putting it all through one workflow?
Possible, yes. If all three of those work groups agree with it, there's nothing stopping them. If only marketing and writing are in favor and video would be against, I'm not sure if we can really force them to become one big Mindplex work group. If that makes sense.
Yeah, I understand.
But yeah, in theory, it could be done, I guess. Yeah, I have to admit, with regards to Mindplex, I lost a little bit of track on it, but last week's session did put me back up, and it's actually a very complete platform. Anyway, don't want to get super distracted there. Vanessa in chat is saying it was nice to actually do something kind of practical in the town hall. Yeah, I think for the past year, it hasn't been this practical. I feel it collected quite a lot of useful input. And perhaps this is something we could ideate on during open governance on Thursday. Just throwing this out there on how to best give this a follow-up. At the same time, I don't really want to take a full meeting slot for follow-up of this session in light of efficiency and you know. A bit more in chats. Should we share this Miro and ask people to contribute asynchronously? Yes, to me that's very welcome. Yeah, there's quite a lot of people in the room, but not everybody. And technically, there could be 4 times as many people involved. So yeah, I think that's definitely the way to go. I'll share it in the Ambassador General. All right. Let me stop the screen share and have a bit of a final check. Are there any further thoughts on this, or everybody brain drained by putting it all into the Miro? All right, I'll take that as no further questions. Seeing we are 8 minutes over the slot, technically there's, let's say, room for open topics, but if they are less than a minute, we could squish a couple in. So feel free to speak up on those if you have any questions. And if not, I do think that's a wrap for today. So thanks all for being here and spending your time and sharing your ideas and input into the Miro board. Yeah, at the beginning of the call, I did put a reminder for 3 different calls tomorrow. you could check the calendar. I'll skip the bonus reminder. I hope to see you on any of those calls, and if not, we'll talk on Discord. Do have a nice remainder of your Tuesday, and see you on the next one. Cheers.